The Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. Chapter 1. The Cyclone. Dorothy was an orphan. She lived in Kansas with Uncle Henry and Aunt Em. Uncle Henry was a farmer, and Aunt Em was his wife. Their house was small. There was only one room in the house. This room had a cupboard, a cook stove, a table, 3 chairs, and 2 beds. There was a little hole in the ground called the Cyclone Cellar, and the family could go there in case of strong tornadoes. There were many prairies all around. The prairies and the grass were not green. They were gray because the sun burned everything during the summer. The sun changed Aunt Em, too. It took the joy from her eyes and the red color from her cheeks. Her lips were gray. She was thin and pale. She never smiled now. Uncle Henry never laughed. He worked hard from morning till evening. He did not know what joy was. He was gray too. It was Toto that made Dorothy cheerful and happy. Toto was not gray, and he was a little black dog with long hair and black eyes. Toto played all day long, and Dorothy played with him. She loved him very much. But one day they did not play. Uncle sat near the doorway and looked at the sky attentively. The sky was very gray. Dorothy stood in the door and looked at sky too. Toto stood next to her. At that moment, Aunt Em was washing the dishes. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise from the north. The long grass began to wave quickly. Uncle Henry stood up and turned to the house. "The cyclone is coming, Em. I will look after the animals," said Uncle Henry to his wife. Then he ran to the sheds which stood next to the house. Aunt Em came to the door. She was a little scared. "Dorothy, run to the cellar quickly!" cried Aunt Em. Toto hid under the bed and the girl tried to get him. Aunt Em opened the small door in the floor and climbed down into the dark hole. Dorothy caught Toto at last and started to follow her aunt. Suddenly she heard a loud noise from the wind. Then a strange thing happened. The house whirled around 3 times and rose slowly into the air. The house was exactly in the center of the cyclone. The wind raised the house higher and higher and carried it easily in the sky. It was very dark and Dorothy was very scared. She sat still on the floor. Toto ran about the room and barked loudly. Many hours passed. Dorothy felt very lonely and sad. At last she went to her bed and fell asleep quickly. Toto lay down beside her.